a question I want to start with today. When you look at your plate at dinner time, how much of it is vegetables? Not as a judgment, just as a genuine question, because I ask myself the same thing. It is easy to build a meal around the protein, the chicken, the fish, the eggs, and then fill in the rest with whatever is closest. A piece of bread, something from a bag. But here is what I have come to believe after spending a lot of time in my kitchen. Vegetables are not the supporting cast of a meal. For us at this stage of life, they are often the main event. The protein matters. The whole grains matter. But the vegetables are where a tremendous amount of what our bodies need every single day actually lives. Today, I want to talk about 10 of them. 10 vegetables I cook with regularly that I genuinely enjoy eating and that do remarkable things for the body after 65. For each one, I am going to tell you what makes it worth cooking, and more importantly, exactly how I cook it. Because knowing a vegetable is good for you and knowing what to do with it in the kitchen are two very different things. Let us go through all 10. The first one is spinach. I start here because spinach is the vegetable I use more than any other. It is also the one that surprises people once they stop thinking of it as a salad ingredient and start treating it as a cooking green. Spinach is rich in vitamins A, K, and C, along with iron, calcium, and folate. Folate is particularly significant after 65. It helps lower homocysteine levels in the blood, which research consistently links to reduced risk of cognitive decline. Spinach also contains lutein and zeaxanthin, two antioxidants that specifically protect eye health. Here is how I cook it. Heat a little olive oil in a skillet. Add a large handful of spinach, a pinch of salt, and a clove of garlic. Stir for about 90 seconds until it collapses and darkens. That is the whole recipe. I put it under a fried egg. I stir it into scrambled eggs. I add it to soup in the last 2 minutes of cooking. Frozen spinach blended into a smoothie disappears completely. You cannot taste it at all. Once you start using spinach this way, you reach for it almost automatically. The second vegetable is broccoli. And I want to say one thing about broccoli before anything else. Most people overcook it, and overcooked broccoli is why broccoli has a poor reputation. When it is cooked correctly, broccoli is genuinely delicious. 1 cup of cooked broccoli contains more vitamin C than an orange. It is also high in vitamin K, fiber, and sulforaphane, a compound with well-documented anti-inflammatory properties. Research from UCLA has specifically found that broccoli may help boost the aging immune system. The best method is to roast it. Cut broccoli into florets, toss with olive oil, salt, and a little garlic, spread in a single layer on a sheet pan, and roast at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes until the edges go dark and slightly crispy. Those dark edges are not burnt. They are caramelized. They are the best part. Roasted broccoli this way has converted many people who believed they did not like broccoli. It is a completely different vegetable from boiled broccoli. Third is sweet potatoes, which I think of as one of the most complete vegetables you can put on a plate. A single sweet potato contains substantial beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A and is essential for eye health and immune function. It also provides vitamin C, potassium, fiber, and complex carbohydrates that digest slowly without spiking blood sugar. The simplest preparation: scrub the potato, poke it a few times with a fork, and bake it whole at 350 for 45 to 60 minutes. That is the entire recipe. It comes out tender and naturally sweet, ready to eat with a little butter, or topped with black beans and a spoonful of Greek yogurt. If I am in a hurry, I microwave it for 8 to 10 minutes turning once. Nearly as good. Fourth on my list is carrots, and I want to make the case specifically for cooked carrots, because most of us think of carrots primarily as a raw snack, and miss out on how good they are when they have actual heat applied to them. Carrots are one of the richest dietary sources of beta-carotene of any vegetable. Cooking increases how much your body can actually absorb, especially when the carrots are cooked with a little fat. My favorite simple preparation: roast them alongside sweet potatoes, which take about the same amount of time. Or make glazed carrots, slice them on the diagonal, cook in a pan with butter, a drizzle of honey, and a pinch of salt over medium heat for 15 minutes until they are tender and shiny. It is a 15-minute side dish that tastes like something from a restaurant. The fifth vegetable is kale, and I understand the reputation it acquired during the years when it became almost fashionable. But the fashion passed and the vegetable remained, and kale genuinely deserves a place in your kitchen. The CDC has noted that dark leafy greens like kale provide at least 10% of the daily value of 17 different nutrients per 100 calories. That is an extraordinary concentration. Kale is especially high in vitamin K for bone health, vitamin A, vitamin C, and calcium. The key is treating it correctly. Raw kale straight from the bag is tough and bitter. But when you massage it with a little olive oil and salt, working it with your hands for 2 or 3 minutes, it transforms completely. It becomes tender and loses the bitterness. From there, use it as a salad base, stir it into soup in the last 10 minutes of cooking, or sauté it in olive oil with garlic for 5 or 6 minutes until it wilts and softens. Kale also holds up far better than spinach in cooked dishes. It does not disappear the same way. Number 6 is garlic. Technically a vegetable, and one I include here not primarily for nutrition, though garlic does contain allicin, which has documented antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, but because garlic is the single ingredient that most transforms what you do with vegetables in the kitchen. Olive oil and garlic together in a pan for 60 seconds is the foundation of more good vegetable cooking than almost anything else I know. Add it to almost any of the other 9 vegetables on this list and watch what happens. The 7th vegetable is beets. I know beets are divisive, but if you have only ever had pickled canned beets, fresh roasted beets are an entirely different experience. Earthy, sweet, deeply colored, and absolutely nothing like what comes out of a jar. Beets are high in folate and in compounds called betalains, the pigments that give them their color, which act as antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. Research specifically highlights beets as beneficial for cognitive health in older adults. They also contain dietary nitrates, which the body converts to nitric oxide, helping relax blood vessels. Roasting is the method. Wrap each beet in foil, place on a baking sheet, and roast at 400 degrees for about an hour until a knife slides in easily. Let them cool and the skins rub off under running water. Slice and eat with olive oil, red wine vinegar, and fresh herbs, or add them to a salad with goat cheese. Roasted beets keep well in the refrigerator for several days. 8th is Brussels sprouts, and again, the ones you may remember being served as a child were boiled. Boiled Brussels sprouts are gray, soft, and sulfurous. Roasted Brussels sprouts are crispy at the edges, slightly caramelized, nutty, and genuinely addictive. The difference in the cooking method produces what might as well be a completely different food. Brussels sprouts are high in fiber, vitamins C and K, and sulforaphane. Research points to cruciferous vegetables as particularly effective at reducing chronic inflammation, which is a significant concern after 65. Trim the ends, halve the sprouts, toss with olive oil and salt, and place cut side down on a sheet pan. Roast at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes without moving them until the cut sides are deeply golden brown. That caramelized surface is everything. A drizzle of balsamic vinegar at the end if you want it. The 9th is asparagus, which keeps appearing in nutrition research focused on seniors specifically because of its prebiotic fiber. Prebiotic fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and gut microbiome diversity tends to decline with age. A healthy gut is connected to immune function, inflammation levels, and even mood and cognitive clarity. Asparagus is also one of the fastest vegetables to cook, which I appreciate enormously. Snap off the woody ends, toss the spears with olive oil and salt, and roast at 425 for 12 to 15 minutes. Or sauté them in olive oil with garlic, turning occasionally for about 8 minutes. Squeeze a lemon over them right before serving. Both methods are quick, both are delicious, and both produce something that looks far more elegant than the effort involved would suggest. And the 10th is the tomato. technically a fruit, universally treated as a vegetable, and one of the richest dietary sources of lycopene, an antioxidant that Harvard Health has specifically linked to lower stroke risk in older adults through multiple studies. What makes tomatoes especially interesting for cooking is that lycopene becomes more bioavailable when tomatoes are heated, particularly in the presence of fat. A raw tomato is good. A tomato cooked in olive oil is nutritionally more potent. A simple pan sauce of crushed canned tomatoes and olive oil over pasta is not just a quick dinner. It is genuinely nourishing in a specific and measurable way. Canned tomatoes, tomato paste, and roasted tomatoes all deliver more lycopene than a fresh tomato eaten raw. This is one of those cases where the cooked version is better for you than the fresh one. I want to say one more thing before I go because I think it ties all of this together. None of these 10 vegetables requires special equipment or unusual technique. Most of them are at their best with olive oil, salt, heat, and not much else. The methods I have described today, roasting, wilting, sautéing, work for almost every vegetable. Once you know how to roast broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, and carrots are all within reach. Once you know how to wilt spinach, kale is just spinach with a little more time. Pick 2 or 3 from this list that appeal to you. Learn one good way to cook each of them. Rotate them through your meals until they become as automatic as everything else you already cook without thinking. That is it. Leave me a comment and tell me which one you are going to try first. And if there is a vegetable you already love that I did not mention today, something you cook every week that you want to tell me about, please share it. I mean that. That is the part of doing this that I enjoy the most. I will see you next time.